Yo. All right, y'all. All right. So today, it's just gonna be probably a rant. I'm talking about what I've been thinking about. Been brainstorming, had an epiphany, however you want to look at it, right? So I've been thinking, like, the characters in their new uniforms are banging, right? Like Thanos with his new uniform, he is beastly, knocking stuff out, stuff I never could do before. Miles, the same way. I don't have him tier 4, but, he's, does he need it? But, and Doc Ock, the same way, right? Which this Doc Ock uniform is kind of the reason why I'm making this video, right? Because with the Doc Ock uniform, which I should show some gameplay, but with the Doc Ock uniform, when it comes to standing in the circle or making sure you're on something like GBR, the circle's on GBR, the circle's on Null when he does his ground eruption thing. This guy is a pretty big guy. I mean, look at him. He takes up the screen. Even if you zoom out, he still takes up more than the screen, right? So it got me to thinking. Like, all right, well, what if, I could keep all of Doc Ock's skills, his rotation, his buffs, all his effects. I can keep all of that, right? All his change skills, all his effects. But I can use this uniform, which to me is a whole lot better looking. Just in my opinion, this uniform is a whole lot better looking, and he doesn't take up as much space. So I can actually get in the circles where I need to be very easily with this Doc Ock. But this is the Doc Ock that's newest, and this is the one we got to play with. So that made me think of this video here. What if, Marvel's What If, right? What if I could use Farmer Thanos, the wise harvester Thanos, but I like the way the Coal Obsidian looks. I mean, the Obsidian King looks. What if I wanted to use the Obsidian King armor, but with all of Wise Harvester's stats, effects, bumps, whatever? It's just a cosmetic change. What if Marvel Future Fight put cosmetic changes so that you can play with, because, there's probably people right now who are like, man, this is Thanos' best looking uniform. The armor, he looks badass, but this one, man, he's got the Infinity Stones, he's got the gauntlet. He looks badass. What if you can have this cosmetic put onto this uniform? Then you can go around whooping shit, but whooping stuff, but you'll be whooping it as him. I know there might be a little conflict with animations because, he's got a sword instead of a hoe with his Obsidian King, and he only has the gauntlet with the Infinity Thanos, whatever that, I don't even know what the name of that is. What is that? Yeah, Infinity War Thanos. He doesn't even have a sword or anything. But you can just make his animations do the same animations, even though he doesn't have all the resources. And he'll be hitting the ground and doing stuff, but it'll look like this guy. Like with Miles Morales, it probably wouldn't be as big difference, right? Because everything he does, he uses the web, right? So imagine if I could keep imagine if you could keep the Carnage the Carnage, Absolute Carnage uniform on him while he's, but he has that Across the Spider-Verse upgrade. So, you're using this, but you've got all of the effects, all of the stuff from here. I mean, to me, I always wanted it, right? The first time I actually wanted it was with Black Widow, right? Let's go to Black Widow. I know I didn't do much with her, but with Black Widow, right? So there's a uniform called Secret Wars 99, which to me, that is the best looking Black Widow ever, right? To me. Now, this is just my opinion. It's the best looking Black Widow ever, right? What if I could use this skin, but with the London Gate or the Golden Gate Vigilante uniform, skills, effects, and all of that? What if I could do that? Man, I would have tier 4. If I had been able to do that, I would have tier 4 Black Widow as soon as she was able. She was the only speed character that could be tier 4 when she did eventually get it. So I would have tier 4'd her. If I could play with her like this, I mean, it's others too, There's other ones too, like Iron Man. Okay, you might not want him to become a supervillain, but even with him not being a supervillain, this Superior Iron Man uniform to me is just jamming. That is just jamming, you know what I mean? So if I could have the Superior Iron Man, but have all the stats of Back to the Basics, to me, I would play more and I'd be more happy. Or more happy. I'd be happier. So for me, I just wanted to throw that out there. Just a little, if you ever had to stand in the circle with Noel, or had to stand on those little circles with Dormammu, you kind of feel my pain. This guy is a pretty big guy. He's a pretty big guy, and he's, kind of hard to say, okay, I want to be here, I want to not. I've got killed plenty of times just for standing right outside of the bubble. And I hate that. So it'll solve that problem, on top of the fact that we get to use whatever one we want. If you want to use the classic one, you got a classic Dr. Ock coming through, beating stage 94 of Null. You know what I'm saying? You got Hulk in Timeline Battle, right? You got Hulk in Timeline Battle, but instead of using Fear itself, you're using the Thor Ragnarok, because you like the way he got the hammers and all of that, because he still got a hammer with this, right? So it's not too big of a difference, I mean, what if you wanted that? You'd be able to use that. And I think, the playability of the game would be so much better if that was the case. Like with her, like this Poseidon is cool, but this Dark Star armor, I would have never changed it. I would have just been like, I want the upgrades, but I want to keep this look. Okay? Which selling the looks makes sense. Selling the stats makes sense. But if we bought this look, we own this look, why can't we use it how we see fit? Not saying mix and match the skills, because that's a whole nother ball game. I mean, that'll be in-game type of programming for when they're like, yo, the game's gonna be done in the next year, so we're just trying to unlock everything for y'all. If you could mix and match your skills with the uniforms, OMG. Imagine, you got a guy, he's got accumulation on the 3rd, but then they moved accumulation to the 4th skill on the new uniform. But you could pick the accumulation on the 3rd and the accumulation on the 4th. I mean, that could be busted. But that's why I said for in-game type of things, you could switch out some skills. Maybe keep it like, the skill number. So every skill 3 or third skill there was, you can swap out for every third skill. Like, they're not going to let you be able to put a 5th skill for your first skill, a 5th skill, another 5th skill from another uniform on your 2nd skill, and now every skill you got is a 5th skill. That would be a little too ridiculous. But to let you interchange every skill from uniforms previous, just to mix and match and see what works better in your playstyle. And that's all it is. You know, we have to sit here and play with these tunes. Most of the time we're playing against the CPU. You know, most of the time we're playing against the programming. Sometimes we're playing against other people in PvP, but PvE is mostly what we do. So I would like to be able to have a custom PvE experience or PvP experience where, like, you know, okay, you see all Thanoses, you see all Jean Greys, you see all Gores, you see all Adam Warlocks, right? But you see them, but they got different uniforms. Adam Warlock can have his, the gold uniform's pretty cool. But if you wanted to, you could go back to his base look and have all of the stats from this look. Or if you like the red and black with the cape, you could go back to that and be in timeline slaying. Like with Carnage. I mean, this Fallen is pretty good. But Absolute Carnage wasn't bad either. I mean, he looked like a skeleton beast, you know. And of course, you got his classic OG look. That ain't bad either. You know, I'm just thinking about it, and I'm saying, you know, it's just a cosmetic change. It's just a cosmetic change. So it's not as if we're changing, you know, stats and all of that. It's just a cosmetic change. Just a cosmetic change. Like, you might not like the Jamie Foxx Electro. You might be like, you know what, let me use the OG classic Electro, you know, and you could do it. You could do it. You might not want to play with a pregnant character. You might not. So you're like, you know what, I want all of the rewards of buying this uniform, but I want to use this one. I mean, the possibilities are endless. You know, they have so many looks for her. You know, I could be her. I want to be the first one I seen. The first uniform, the OG. Or I could be the Fearless Defender. You know? Or I could be Thor Love and Thunder, which to me, Thor Love and Thunder is probably the best. But everybody has their own opinion, so it doesn't matter. Like with Gamora, this is cool, right? And I'm not saying change her from being a villain to a hero. I'm just saying a cosmetic change. But I would like to have the Requiem. This uniform is banging, you know? This one ain't bad. It's kind of like the one we already have. But that Requiem, though, with that sword, I like it. I like it. And if I could use Requiem instead of this, but have the same, you know, it just would be good. It would be good to me. You know, they got a lot of characters that have changed. Like, you might not like this gold and white for him. But we have the black. You got the black. So you wouldn't have to have that. Or you could put wheels on there. You know? You could put wheels on there and have him just busting up the content. You know? The Magneto. I mean, it's pretty cool with the purple and everything. But for me, the House of X is the best Magneto costume they had. It was fresh. You know, and they got the white, they got the black. I mean, it's your choice. They give you these things, you pay for them, you know. Like him in this outfit. I don't really like the clothes. It looks, you know, cyberpunkish, you know. But you go to this one, and he's draped pretty nicely. You know, you might want to use that guy. You know. And I'm just saying, this to me is something viable that I would like to see. Because, this one's cool, but what if you want to use Ironheart in this manner instead of this one? You could do that. You could do that and not lose a stat, not lose anything. Anything. Like his, what was it, Secret Wars? Or no, it was Hydra. His Hydra, to me, was pretty cool. I don't want him to be a villain, but his Hydra's pretty cool. And then his Phoenix is even better because, it's got a little fire going on. You know what I mean? And the same with one of the characters that I feel like they kind of did wrong. I don't even know if I have her up here. But one of the characters I kind of feel like they did wrong, and that's Maya Lopez. Ooh, I don't have here. Let's look for her. Yeah, she's combat, I'm sure. Echo. Where is she? Echo. And I'm going to leave it on this one. Okay, maybe she's speed and I'm tripping. She might be speed. Alright, now we should be able to find her. Somewhere over the rainbow. There she is. Yeah, like this Maya Lopez, which I understand the show came out, so you want to pay homage to the show, which we bought the uniform. So whether we have the cosmetic of this on the uniform or have the cosmetic of Enter the Phoenix, which I feel like the Enter the Phoenix is a better looking uniform. She's got the fire look going on. She's got the tonfas. She looks a lot better in this uniform. She looks more badass in this uniform than she does in this one. But of course, if you use this one, you miss out on all the stats of this one. So, and this is a paywall uniform. You got to pay some kind of money, some kind of premium currency to be able to get this. And yet, I lose out on this that you gave me for free. So with that being said, it's kind of like, these are my tunes. Can I mix and match and change the uniforms and put it together? So in a nutshell, you'll be changing the cosmetic look of the uniform, but not changing the stats of the uniform. So you pick which uniform you want, and then you pick the look of the uniform you want, right? So it'll be like, all right, I want to pick Wise Harvester. Boom, I equip it. Then it'll say like maybe another little button over here or something that says cosmetic. Then I'll pick, hey, I want to equip it or I want to put it as a cosmetic, cosmetic only. To me, that'll set this thing off. That'll set it off. And hopefully before the game's over, they make it happen to where we can, change the uniform cosmetically and only make it a cosmetic change. And we take advantage of everything else with that uniform. And for me, I'd have 1,000 times much more fun with that option. In fact, let me know how y'all feel. Put it down in the comments. Peace.